Hi, this is Matt from Petovera. In this video, I'm going to give you a complete walkthrough tutorial of how to create, test, and send a newsletter with ActiveCampaign. Okay, so I've opened three tabs to accomplish this. I've opened the systems documentation so that I have the steps in front of me. I've opened WordPress so that I have the exact blog post in front of me that I'm going to want to actually put into the email newsletter. And I have ActiveCampaign open. So let's start with ActiveCampaign and let's follow the steps. So we want to create a new campaign under the Campaigns tab. Okay, and make sure that you're clicking New Campaign up here. But the better option is to click one of the campaigns that have already been sent down here. For example, number 63, this is going to be in the format of one of our weekly newsletter campaign issues, so we want to reuse the format. It's going to save us some time. So make sure you're clicking on this one right here and not on a draft, because a draft might not have the same format and might kind of prevent you from, you might get stuck. You're more likely to get stuck. Alright, so make sure you click on the drop down here, click on Resend Options, and click on make sure Create a New Campaign based on this campaign is selected. Click Continue. And another program that you want to make sure to turn on is Jing, J-I-N-G, which is a free program to capture screenshots from TextMyth. So make sure we want to turn that on in advance right now. We're going to update the title. So here we go. This is step 2. So to do that, we're just going to copy the title from WordPress for the article that we're creating. Paste it in there and make sure the number is updated as well. We're going to make sure that it is selected to be a split test. So this allows us to test different subject lines for the newsletter to see which gets a higher open rate or click rate. And then you want to click on the next button. In this case, it's in the top right corner. Sometimes ActiveCampaign changes, but putting it in the top right corner is most common, and probably will be there for a while. In the future, it might be in the bottom right, who knows. But just look for the next button. And then when it comes to lists, you don't have to actually change anything here. This is part of why we're reusing the campaign. So all these lists and the segment that's selected, newsletter segment, not in automation, level 1, not in level 1 automation. You want to keep that all the same. Just make sure that it matches up with the settings here, namely newsletter, content marketing team, W leads. All these lists are selected. And click on Next. Alright, so now we're in design mode. And we want to get rid of this kind of complicated looking window pane over here. So what we can do is just click on Switch to Visual Editor. And here's where we're actually creating the newsletter itself. So this is the subject line, and notice how we can switch back and forth from one subject line variation to the other. So this is where we're going to split test, or we're going to set up different subject lines to split test. So we're going to paste in the subject line for the newsletter. Okay, let's see the step we're up to. Yep, we're reusing the same design template. Okay. And if you're doing this for a client's newsletter, you just want to make sure that we're using the same HTML, or that we're using the proper HTML design, and that's already in place. Okay. Now, if you're not sure if you need to copy the HTML design, what you want to do is you can log in here to our Pedovera account. You can go through the same steps that I've already highlighted for you here. And let's see if we switch over to HTML. You can just select all, do Control A on your keyboard, or Apple A if you're on a Mac, and then Control C or Apple C, and copy the entire design to your clipboard and then paste it in to the client's account for the newsletter that you're about to send. And then you just want to replace, you know, the logo and the headline here. Okay, and then we would add in these other content elements, but basically just following the same formula that we are here. Okay, keep the headline as is, update the headline and video preview image to capture the screenshot of the YouTube video. Okay, so we're going to do that now. So this is where Jing comes in. Let's go ahead and view the post. In this case, the post was already published. So we're clicking View Post instead of Preview. And all we're going to do is we're going to put our mouse, well, first let's do the title. So let's copy the title. And so this is currently header 1. Should actually be header 2. Let's make it a little smaller. Center it. Select it, make it a link. Okay, insert the link. Again, to do that, I just clicked on this little link icon. Very similar to Microsoft Word, if you're familiar with Microsoft Word. And let's delete the current image there. Make it new image. So we're going to hover our mouse over the YouTube video, and then we're going to select the screenshot. Now you can set hotkeys on your keyboard for Jing, and the way you would do that is you just hover over the little sun icon that they give you, click on More, and click on Preferences, and then within here you select it, and then you just push the keys on your keyboard that you want to be the hotkeys. So in this case, Control, Shift, W, right? And that's it. Click Finish. Let's do it on our keyboard right now as we're hovered over this YouTube video. Control, Shift, W. All right. And now we're going to select the area. I don't know if the recording is actually capturing this right now, but let's go ahead and click on Capture Image, bottom left. So Jing freezes the screen, so I'm not sure if the video capture actually just got that, but let's click on Share to Screencast.com. Now when you sign up for Jing, you get a free account up to 2 gigabytes. So we've just uploaded it. Now let's actually go ahead and, since it's already on our clipboard, Control V or Apple V on your keyboard to paste it into the URL address bar. And now to get to the actual, so that we can embed the image directly here within the newsletter without actually uploading it anywhere else, we're going to click, oh, that works too, we could click and drag it into the URL address bar. So this is the exact image destination location, as you can see. And now we're going to do Control C on our keyboard to copy that. I'm going to insert it into the newsletter. So let's click on the little image, insert image icon, Control V. Make sure to click out of that so we can see it in the preview here. Click Insert, and there we go. And it shouldn't make a difference, but click on the center button just in case. All right, very good. Okay, and now we want to create the format for the newsletter. All right. So there are generally two formats that we've been using for sending newsletters. I want you to assume that we're going to be using the new format, unless documented otherwise in the documentation here. So where are we up to now? Okay. So the new format is where we're kind of summarizing and enticing readers on why they should click through to read the article on our website. In addition, then we're featuring a case study where it's kind of like a story about our clients or a testimonial with a call to action for people to, to actually contact us and let us, have us give them a quote for their project, for example. So we're trying to drive not just people reading our content, but also to take action on it. So that's the new format. The old format, which we might test or go back to at a later date, is where we're just literally just kind of, we're just pasting in all the content from the article here. Okay? We're literally just copying and pasting it, as you saw me, as it was here before. So if I do Control Z, you can see like it's literally just kind of pasting in the article, right? Okay, so now we're going to go with the new format going forward, and that's what you want to assume unless told otherwise in the documentation. But just so you know, I wanted to point that out. Okay, so we want to write one to two sentence overview of the article. In this case, it might be a question. Do you want, how can a freemium pricing model, can freemium pricing help you grow your business? And is it right? And then talk about, kind of segue into here are the top 5 benefits you'll get from reading today's article, right? And then the next section would be, featured case study or featured client success story. And then we talk about, what it was and talk about it for a few minutes. Or rather for a few sentences, 5 to 10 in fact. Okay, so I'm going to write this up now and then I will turn back on the video. So what I'm deciding to do here is I'm actually taking part of the beginning of the article because it starts with a story, and stories are really compelling. They create an automatic information gap in the reader's mind, and people want to fill that gap. So for that reason, I'm literally just reusing the story that's already on here. Okay. To create the information gap and to draw people to click through. Now in other cases, some articles, whatever the article is that we're featuring in our newsletter, might not start with an information gap like that. Okay, so you might want to, you would have to custom write your intro. But now let's see. You want to keep in mind too, there's kind of two scroll bars here at the moment. It can be a little confusing, but just keep that in mind. So if you're scrolling down and you can't see the formatting pricing bar, you need to know that it's right here. Okay. So I want bullet points, so I'm going to push the little bullet points button and keep writing. One thing I want to highlight before I show you more about the final format and design and writing of the newsletter is if for some reason you get stuck at the summary step, this is right before you're sending it, you click to go back, but it won't let you. Okay, this is telling you, this red message up here, that you need to set a number here. Okay, now this is going to say, how many of each message are we sending to each batch of people before we're going to send the entire message, right? So let's set it to be 15%, 15%. Okay, and we want to, with this new format of the newsletter, we want to go for the best click rate. Okay, because we want to drive people to the website to actually take action. Instead of the best open rate, which made sense with the old format, since we would actually have the entire article right in their email inbox. Okay, so we're going for the best click rate. Let's make sure we set 15 and 15, and that sets the final amount to 70. And now we can click to go back, and it will save our changes there. Okay, so a few things to keep in mind. You should have already set the secondary message, or rather subject line. For instance, here I wrote, free equals more clients. And also, the regular title of the article is the other subject line that we're testing. And the way that this works is their system, ActiveCampaign's system, will actually send out both to 15% of the total audience. And based on the results, whichever one gets the higher click rate, people opening the newsletter and then clicking on some of the links in here, that will be determined as the winner. Now, as far as making the content into clickable links, we already know that this is a link up here. And you want to double check that. This should also be a link, and check that and set that if you haven't already to be the link to the article. And these images here can also be links as well. Okay. Now within the benefits as well, we can make these links. Okay. On the mathematical power principle for why free is so irresistible to any target market. Understand the risks and the dark side to freemium pricing, especially for service businesses. Learn how to have your cake and eat it too. That is, how to get all the benefits, like a dramatically higher conversion rate, and none of the drawbacks of freemium pricing. Okay, so now we're going to set up the featured client case study. To insert this line here that you see, all you need to do is click on this Insert Horizontal Line option, type in 500, and click Insert, and it will generate the line. Alright. Now we're going to write the featured client case study. Okay, so we've put out the featured client launch, we've written it up, we've linked it up, and now we want to create the call to action. We're going to link that to petovera.com. Signature. Okay, now let's make sure the formatting is consistent as far as the font size. Let's make that 12. Notice how I inserted the link here, which also goes to petovera.com. Actually, no, that goes to the website for the client that we're featuring. Let's just confirm that. Yep. Okay. This bottom signature can stay the same. Make sure that there are about 8 spaces after the end of the text, this will push down the unsubscribe option. Making it less visible actually works to make it less people unsubscribe. Okay, so now let's look at getting a screenshot of Expert Coach Center. So we're just going to use Jing once again. Upload that. Copy the direct image link. Insert the image. Make that small. And we'll put it after the testimonial, since that makes sense. So you can put a border around that. Yeah, there we go. Make it into a link as well. Okay. And that's it. That's the format that you want to follow. Now we're going to test it out. Okay, make sure all these look as they should. Subject lines, email lists. All this can stay the same. Okay, in this case, it will send immediately, just because I'm sending it the day of, but in your case, you want to make sure to select the exact date and time that you want it to send, because you should not be sending this the morning that it's supposed to go out. You don't want to be rushing. You want to schedule it at least 1 day in advance. And you want to be scheduling it for just after 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Alright. And keep in mind too, this is military time. So, not that it matters because you're sending it in the morning. But, okay, let's go ahead and... so you want to send a test now to yourself. Sorry, send it to my Gmail. Send test. Display images. Alright, you want to click to open each of these links. They should all go to the same location. Our purpose here is to make sure there's no broken links. Looks good, looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. Let's test this, this, and this, and this. Okay, so that should go there. I'm actually zoomed in right now, so just do Control+. Bring it back to normal. I did that for the screenshot, keep in mind. Goes there, goes there, goes there. Last link goes here. Awesome. Okay, that should go to the home page and to the Goes to the home page, and this should go to a landing page for our webinar. And cool. Awesome. All right. We've tested it. Another important thing to point out is that it went directly into our inbox. Okay, it went into the inbox. And if it went to promotions, the promotions tab, we would want to test it and, you know, make and kind of change the wording. And it's possible that it would have been up. Well, here we have spam score. Filtered as spam. Okay, so we're seeing that something is registering. So we actually want to go back and change that. So in some cases, it might register and it would not go into your inbox. Okay, so you want to optimize the words used so that it does go into your inbox. Because if it goes into your inbox, it's more likely to go into the inbox of your recipients instead of the promotions tab or the spam folder. Okay, now let's go back. See, I'm making like little improvements as I go back. Okay, check out the spam score now. It should be 00. Awesome. Let's send it one more time, just to make sure. Again, you want to check the schedule. Make sure it's scheduled to something. Best click rate, email ratio is good. Everything is good. Went to the inbox. Awesome. This link I think we tested. I'll test it just in case. Yep. Okay. That works. And yeah, at this point, you're ready to send it. So you're going to click Finish. And it's going to start processing the campaign. And that's it.